What's up, everybody? Happy New Year. We are ready for 2020. I'm coming at you on New Year's Eve 2019 with an idea for the channel, something a little bit different I want to do today. I want to involve more of the followers and subscribers that aren't into sports as much. I want to talk a bit today about how crazy the last decade has been. So much has gone on in my life and yours, I'm sure. Today, let's talk about it. Talk about what the decade has taught us. I'll apply some sports examples, some real life examples. Hope you're looking forward to the video. Stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Here we go with what the 2010s has taught us. So maybe not the most important thing I learned this decade, but the first thing I learned this decade, definitely the first thing I learned in the 2010s is that things are always changing around us and we can't stop it. Things are always going to change. The world is constantly evolving around us. You see in sports, you have so much player movement, roster changes. It's like a completely different league in football, baseball, basketball, over even maybe just a 2-year span. Now, 10 years, think about where you were 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was 11 years old, playing with lightsabers and action figures and whatnot. And then here we are, going to college. I guess I'm on YouTube now. Like, who would have thunk it? There's so many things that are going to change around us. You meet new people, you get new opportunities, new relationships. Probably some of my best friends I've met this decade. So just think about how life is always changing, and instead of maybe sticking to your old ways, you got to adapt. I mean, look at Dwight Howard. Like, he's like a dinosaur in today's era when every other center is shooting three-pointers. Dwight Howard almost got booted out of the league for pretty much sticking to just being a big man that relies on his size and athleticism. So things are always changing. Make sure you adapt with the times, stay in tune, and really just recognize that things are going to change and you can't help it. Don't be too upset about it. You just got to ride the wave. If there's one thing that drives me crazy, it's when people try to boost themselves. When people try to clout chase. You see it all the time. You hate to see it. But as the decade's gone on, I've come to realize it is the era of self-promotion. We got to admit. You got to be able to market yourself. You got to be able to promote yourself, your agendas, your business, whatever you want to get out there. Got to get your name out there. You look at guys like Patrick Beverley. He looks like a homeless man. I mean, he spent some time in the D League. I'm pretty sure he was undrafted. Had to go overseas a couple times because he couldn't find an NBA job. But in the opportunities he's gotten, he's created this dog-like persona where, he's pushing and shoving people. He's getting in people's heads. And people on the internet see that. They go crazy over it, watching the late-night TNT Houston Rockets game. And Patrick Beverley made a name for himself. He got traded to the Clippers and he got paid because people know Patrick Beverley as a hustler. And if he didn't promote that agenda, it would have never happened. You look at LeVar Ball, right? Talking all this stuff about Lonzo Ball. Oh, my son's better than Michael Jordan. My son's better than LeBron. He's definitely not that. But Lonzo got so much hype and attention coming up throughout high school and college that people got a good look at him. And he ended up getting selected second overall. Lonzo Ball is a perfect example. Zion Williamson, on Twitter, you see his windmill dunks in high school. He ends up getting picked number 1 overall. You really, truly have to be able to get your name out there, utilize social media and all these avenues and mediums for self-promotion. SoundCloud rappers these days. I mean, without SoundCloud, there are so many people that probably would have never gotten fame. You got to utilize those mediums, and self-promotion is super important whenever you're trying to get your name out there in creating opportunities for yourself. It's a fact. Another life lesson that the 2010s have taught me is that you gotta surround yourself with the right people, with people that are gonna help you succeed, with people that support you. You gotta create your super team. Look at LeBron and KD, right? LeBron James left the Cavs for the Heat. KD left the Thunder for the Warriors. They left to go play with their buddies, play with superstars, people that are gonna help them win championships. And look, 5 championships between the two of them this decade. As much as we say we hate the super team, as much as we hate to see those guys dominate, they made the right decision. They linked up with people who were going to help them with their goals, and that's what we got to do. We got to make friendships, make connections. I mean, I look to my buddy Jose, who shares a lot of the same goals as me. A lot of my best friends are here for my visions. My family, I mean, my mom has really played such a great role in helping me as a young adult since my dad passed. She teaches me a lot of the disciplinary traits that I need to become a strong adult in this world. And I'm thankful for that. You got to be thankful for your circle, thankful for your team. You got to be very selective when you are making those decisions and who you want around you. You want people with common goals, people that are going to help you, be happy, people that are going to help you win in this world. And you want to succeed. You want people to be there when you succeed. Choose the right people, keep your circle tight, and you'll be straight. All right, I'm going to need you guys to keep it real with me here. Tell me, you can't tell me this isn't one of the most popular words of the decade, toxic. You hear it all the time, toxic. Oh, you're so toxic. This toxic relationship, toxic friendship. It's true. There are toxic situations out there. We're hitting 2020. It's a fresh start. Get out of your toxic relationship. Get rid of that psycho ex-boyfriend. Ladies, I am talking to you. I hear it all the time. I'll be into you, and then it's like, oh, me and my ex, oh, we have such a great connection. No, just leave them. It's toxic. You got to leave those situations. Leave those toxic friends behind. It's 2020, a fresh start. Meet some new people. I mean, there's so many people out there you'll meet in a lifetime. Don't stick to one person because you have a connection, because I guarantee that you're capable of having a connection with 2 million other people that'll probably treat you better than your psycho ex-boyfriend. So just leave them. You see, why do you think no one signs with the Knicks, right? And you see their ownership, their management, they're toxic. They're definitely toxic. So KD didn't want to go there. Kyrie didn't want to go there. No one wanted to go to the Knicks because they're toxic. So leave your toxic relationships. Leave those toxic friendships behind. Avoid toxic tendencies. Man, it's kind of a tongue twister at this point. Just get rid of all the toxic stuff. Enjoy your new decade. 2020, here we come, baby. All right, I got to give word to my guy Stephen A. Smith here when I say stay off the weed. No, I'm just playing, but stay away from drugs, not weed in particular, but you see so many people, Josh Gordon, I mean, he can't keep his job because he just wants to keep smoking pot. I mean, I'm not saying, the health benefits or whatever of weed aren't good. I'm talking about drugs, right? You see so many people that have passed this decade due to drug overdose. We just recently lost Juice WRLD. Mac Miller, had some issues. Michael Jackson, even though I think that was in the 2000s. But anyways, stay off of drugs that will get you hooked, that can damage your health. Prioritize your health is what I want to say, right? I mean, you see Andrew Luck, who is super injury prone, and he's starting to get all these blood diseases from how many bone fractures and injuries he's had. He decided to step away from the game to protect his health. Same with Rob Gronkowski. Same with a lot of people, Calvin Johnson. You got to prioritize your health. I mean, people have things that make them feel good inside. People use things as deterrents away from stress. I get it. But just be careful out there. Be careful, stay away from drugs, prioritize your health. I mean, take care of your body, eat good. My stepmom just went vegan and it drives me absolutely crazy, but I see her feeling better every day. She loves it. She's reached all of her fitness goals. She's amazing in her fitness journey, and you see a lot of people taking advantage of it. A lot of people taking advantage of drugs, but then you see a lot of people taking advantage of all these new diets out there, all these new health advocate mediums for improving your body's health. And I think it's really important. Stay away from the drugs, treat your body right, be safe out there. Whew, oh man, this one hits home. I have definitely learned this decade, do not take anyone or anything for granted. I lost my dad this decade, who's my best friend in life, and I'll tell you, I didn't see it coming, and you never see it coming. I'm sure many of you out there have lost a loved one, lost even a friendship. Maybe someone moves away. You can't take things for granted. Appreciate every moment you can with everyone. I bet Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden, I bet they wish they didn't take their situation for granted out in Oklahoma City, because Harden and Westbrook haven't won anything since Durant left and Harden got traded. And you just don't want to lose anyone and feel like you missed any opportunities to create some more memories. Do everything you can to show your loved ones that they're appreciated. I want you guys to go out there and live every day with a purpose. Don't take life for granted. I mean, we have so many beautiful things on this earth that we haven't seen yet. I need to try to travel more. That's one of my goals. I got to travel more, but there's so many things out there to see, so many things to do, so many great, phenomenal people you can meet. Just don't take anyone for granted. Appreciate your loved ones. Tell them you love them every day. And I just want you guys to live with that mindset. Not that, it's, important to me what you guys do every day. I just want you to look back on your life and say that you didn't take it for granted. You lived your life to the fullest, baby. I feel like we've got to talk about this topic because it has become super prevalent throughout the 2010s. Mental health awareness. You hear celebrities talk about it. Kanye West, athletes, Kevin Love and DeMar DeRozan. You hear about mental health every day. I feel that throughout the 2010s, everybody at some point has claimed to have anxiety and depression, which that's not true. There are people who actually suffer from those conditions and disorders, and we can't discredit them in their journey. But everyone does go through something. I get it. Life is tough. We all got to be there for each other, though. I did learn throughout this decade in a conversation with my dad that you can't compare one person's pain to another, because I remember, I think I was in high school at the time. I had just gotten through a breakup, and it's really not that important. It was just a little high school breakup, while my dad at the time was going through tons of stress, trying to keep the family afloat, trying to keep us in our house, trying to keep our vehicles, trying to really keep us above water. And though his stress seemed so much more important than mine, I remember him paying so much attention to my situation and trying to help me through it and be there for me. And once I had kind of gotten over the tears of the breakup, I had asked him, man, you are just so busy and overwhelmed with so many things right now. Why are you worried about my little breakup? And he said, you can't compare one's pain to another because you never know how they're going to handle it. Some people, will cry over spilt milk, and some people will go through some of the toughest things and be totally fine. And you just got to be there for everyone. I try my best to be there for everyone. Any of you subscribers, if you feel like you're going through something, you got me to talk to for sure. It's just tough out there in this world. Got to be there for each other. And the 2010s, I feel a lot of people would claim was their worst decade of life. And you see so many changes throughout the decade in the way we grow. We lose some friends, we lose family members. A lot of things happen, but it is a fresh start. Let's leave all of the mental health issues back in the 2010s. You can't use it as an excuse. We hear terrible situations like the Las Vegas shooting and a lot of school shootings where something will come out later in the news. Oh, well, the shooter had a mental health disorder. It's no excuse to shoot up a school. Don't use your state of mind as an excuse for anything. Don't be violent. You just got to be there for everyone. Keep your composure and know that it gets better. As long as we're there for each other, it's going to get better. We'll be all right. Move into the 2020s. Let's prioritize our mental health and not get into the crazy stuff because we're feeling down one day. We got this. All right, so this is an underrated take right here. This is all facts. Be ready to take some notes. In order to succeed in this world, you've got to be well-rounded, got to be diverse, multi-dimensional, and versatile. It is essential. You see it in football. In order to be a quarterback now, you got to be able to throw and run with the ball. Running backs, they got to be able to catch the ball. Linebackers got to be able to tackle and cover. There's so many things that are asked of us as individuals nowadays that we got to have multiple things on our tool belts. We have to have many skills in our arsenals in order to succeed. You see it in basketball too. So many guys like LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, they're all asked to score, pass, rebound, defend. These players now are so great because back in the day, you had specialists. You had guys that were there to defend, guys that were there to pass, guys that were there to shoot. And now you see Ben Simmons, who can do a lot of things, but he can't really shoot the basketball. He can't put himself on that next level unless he learns to shoot. You got to be able to do it all in this world. And adding things to your resume, adding some skills to your persona is essential to making it in this world. If you're only good at one thing and that thing doesn't work out, let's say you lose your one job you've had for so many years, you're going to be screwed if you don't know how to do anything else. Try some new things, build your skill sets. It's always fun to learn too. I mean, why not try to learn how to do something new? I mean, so you have something to fall back on. You create a fun new hobby. You start a YouTube channel or something. I don't know, totally up to you guys, whatever you do. But living life, just try to be well-rounded. My dad always told me to be an APK. It was standing for all-purpose kid. I did my best to do so. I'm still working on becoming a well-rounded individual. But we got to be like these new era athletes where you got to be able to do it all in order to make it. As we know, life can be so short. You only get so many chances to make right. We've got to make the most of every opportunity, take advantage of everything that comes our way, in a good way, of course. Don't take advantage of people, but if an opportunity comes up, you got to make the most of it. I look back to the Seattle Seahawks this decade in one of the greatest Super Bowls against the New England Patriots. They had them on the ropes. They were on the 1 yard line. They had beast mode, Marshawn Lynch. All you got to do is run 1 yard straight ahead into the end zone. They got cute. They didn't make the most of it. Russell Wilson throws an interception on the goal line. And here's someone who made the most of an opportunity, Malcolm Butler. He made one of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history, literally saving the Patriots from a loss. And he made a name for himself that way. He was a practice squad player before, makes the game-saving interception. He got a huge contract with the Tennessee Titans. It's just how it goes. You got to take advantage of those situations. If Malcolm Butler just sat there and folded, just, did what he was supposed to, they wouldn't have made that play. The thing about life is that you only get so many opportunities. You might meet a special individual that gives you a chance to interview for a job, to build a skill that you can use moving forward. There's so many connections to make out there in this world, so many things to do. If you get offered the new job and you're comfortable at your old job, you don't want to leave, don't want to do something you're not used to, you just got to be bold. You just got to take risks. You get one life, make the most of it, take advantage of every opportunity, and live your best life. And the last bit of information the 2010s taught me, the most important thing I learned throughout this decade that I want to carry with me into the next, is that no matter how hard life can seem, no matter how tough it gets, it is possible to overcome adversity, and it's so important to never give up. You see so many examples in sports. Sports and life itself are so synonymous, so many examples and comparisons that really hit home. You see Derrick Rose go through all those injuries. You feel awful for him. You question whether he's ever going to play in the league again. And he comes back, lands a spot on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and drops 50, has a pretty good season. He is able to be in the league now. He's able to make the most of his opportunity now with the Detroit Pistons. He got a new contract. You saw the New England Patriots this decade play in the most amazing Super Bowl we'll probably ever see, down 28-3 to the Atlanta Falcons. They came back, they defeated adversity, they erased the lead, they won in overtime. And probably my favorite example is Kobe Bryant. You look at his journey, all the injuries throughout his career, he still won his championships, but the biggest of all almost as valuable as a championship to me is despite all the injuries in the final years of his career, on the last night of his stellar 20-year NBA lifetime, he goes out and drops 60 points on the Utah Jazz, just exhausted. You see him leave every last bit of himself on the court. He gave it his best. He hits the game winner with about 30 seconds left to take the lead. They were down 10 with like 3 minutes left. I believe Kobe scored or assisted on the Lakers' final 21 points all by himself at the age of 37, post Achilles tear. Kobe, Mamba mentality is really one of the things that resonate with me the most. The Mamba mentality is so essential to conquering life. I mean, a lot of people think the Mamba mentality is made up, but the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant, you got to have your game face on. You got to be able to conquer every situation and perfect your craft. And I think that no matter how hard life gets, we're all able to overcome adversity if we give our best and we never give up. It's just that simple. I know it's harder than it may sound, easier said than done, but we're all capable. I know we are. I appreciate you guys listening to every bit of information that I've had to give today. I hope you guys have learned plenty, as much as I have this decade, and I look forward to the 2020s. Here we go. I can't wait to make some new memories. Let's get this channel popping. Let's have a great decade and leave all the stuff behind us that we don't want to carry forward. So this past decade is almost over. It's been a crazy one for sports, for life. I'm glad that we can all move into the next decade with a positive mindset. And I can't wait to see what the world has to offer in the future. I'm so excited for it. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Check out my previous videos. Like this video and feel free to comment on anything because I'll get back to you because I'm just cool like that. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Have a safe and fun New Year's. 2020, here we come.